The sound was wrong. Laughter, hers, pitched just a little too high, stretched too long. It cut through the background noise of the living room like a blade scraping glass. I looked up from my drink. She was leaning forward, hand on his knee. My best friend. 15 years of friendship in the space between them. Her eyes didn't glance my way once. "I made a mistake marrying my husband," she said. Calm, like she was ordering coffee. "I should have chosen you." He smirked, like the two of them had rehearsed this. "We've had each other for 15 years, and he never bothered us." The air left my chest in one long, silent exhale. My fist moved before my mind caught up, hard, fast, clean into his jaw. The impact jolted through my shoulder. He stumbled back, clutching his face, swearing. She didn't flinch. "If you're unhappy," she screamed, "the door's right there, you jealous, entitled loser." I didn't answer, didn't look at either of them. I left. Outside, the cold air felt like a blade across my skin. The streetlights hummed. My mind was a still pond with something dead floating just beneath the surface. The first thing I noticed when I got home was the smell of her perfume on my shirt. Not because I'd been close to her tonight, but because it clung, like guilt, like a fingerprint left in the dark. We'd been married 9 years. She'd been friends with him for longer than that. I'd always thought it was harmless. She said it was harmless. But her words at that party weren't the kind that just slip out. They were a confession. I replayed them in my head, searching for context, for irony, for some drunken joke I'd missed. There was none. They'd been speaking fluently in a language I wasn't meant to understand, one they'd been practicing for years, right under my nose. My phone buzzed, her message. "You overreacted. Call me when you're calm." Calm. I stared at the screen until it went black. Something inside me shifted that night. Not rage, not heartbreak, something colder. The next week, I lived 2 lives. One in the open, silent, unbothered, going through the motions. I answered her questions, made dinner, even smiled when she spoke. The other life stayed beneath the surface, methodical, deliberate. I started with his name, his social media, pictures from trips I hadn't been invited to, old comments buried in threads, settle in-jokes I'd never heard before. Then hers. Private messages on her tablet when she left it unlocked. Late-night notifications from his number, muted but not hidden. I didn't read them all at once. I let them drip into my brain like poison. Every word a calculated dose. The more I saw, the less I reacted. It wasn't shock anymore, it was data. 2 dinners canceled because she was with friends. Photos she never posted, but he did. Her handwriting in the margin of a book he'd tagged in a picture months ago. 15 years of history between them. And me? Just the man who walked into their story halfway through and thought I was the main character. The truth came in a manila envelope. Phone records, hotel receipts, a flight I didn't know she'd taken last spring. It was enough to burn the house down. She came home that night to find it on the kitchen table. No note, no explanation, just the evidence. She stopped in the doorway, read the first page. Her face didn't crumble. It froze. That was worse. "This isn't," she started. I looked at her. Just looked. And she shut her mouth. For years, she'd been building a version of me in her head, slow to notice, too trusting to act. She was meeting someone else now, someone colder. I didn't yell, I didn't accuse. I slid my wedding ring across the table toward her. The sound it made, metal on wood, was the only sound in the room. "You've been rehearsing your exit for 15 years, I said. My voice was steady. I just didn't realize it. Her hands tightened around the envelope. "You're twisting." I shook my head. "No, I'm done twisting myself to fit inside your lie." Then I stood, took my coat from the back of the chair. Her breathing quickened. You can't just walk away. You don't get to leave me like... But I could. And I did. The door shut between us like the last move in a chess game she didn't know she'd already lost. The next morning, I was already gone when she came home. She stumbled through the doorway, still in last night's clothes, makeup smudged, hair tangled. She froze when she saw what I'd left on the kitchen counter, her key. Beside it, a printed copy of every message, every receipt, every photo. She called me 17 times that day. I didn't answer. I wasn't angry anymore. Anger would mean she still mattered. What I felt was silence. A clean, sharp silence that made the past 9 years feel like someone else's life. 15 years they'd kept their secret. One night was all it took to end it. And the truth? The truth was never hers to hide.